Well, the minister of the Federal Capital Territory and former governor of River State, Nyesom Wike, is now one of the loudest voices in a government controlled by the biggest rivals to a political party where he is still known as a card-carrying stakeholder. His actions and utterances, especially in the course of his ongoing power struggle with his predecessor as governor, appears to have done more to diminish the electoral fortunes of the People's Democratic Party, not just in that state, but at the national level as well. We're now being joined by Captain Tunji Shelle, retired, a one-time chairman of the Lagos State chapter of the People's Democratic Party, to have a look at this Wike conundrum and the apparent weakening of Nigeria's main opposition party. Good day. Welcome to Newsday. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Yes, the Wike conundrum, it's being called. Former Jigawa State Governor Sule Lamido, he has accused the PDP National Working Committee, as many others have, of being docile and allowing the party's arch rival Bola Tinubu to intervene in the dispute between Mr. Fubara and Wike. What's your opinion on this?
I have three quick questions to you. Number one is, what does Chief Wike really want in politics? Number two, is he still a member of the PDP? And number three, they were trying to broker an agreement to say they would drop the impeachment charge against the governor of River State. What about the members of the House of Assembly that defected to APC? Are they coming back to PDP? All these issues are germane in resolving the issue. And PDP is just being careful. I don't fancy the style anyway at the national level. They ought to have used the hammer to send anybody who is doing anti-party out of the party long before now. The leaders, the elders of the party should come together and resolve this issue once and for all. Chief Wike cannot afford to kill the party because his attempt and his efforts is to impress Mr. President, looking forward to 2027 to make River State an APC state. And I won't be surprised if Fubara himself is not being lured. There may be a discussion that we don't know about, that he is being lured to transfer his allegiance to APC so that he will be able to work with the members of the House of Assembly, because otherwise there will be a lot of misunderstanding, distraction, and mistrust if Fubara will have to work with the present State Assembly. It cannot work.
But I'm wondering, is it possible that the leadership of your party is compromised? Because I'm wondering why they seem so helpless, in dealing with Nyesom Wike. Or is it the fact that there's a fundamental problem with your party? For instance, the lack of internal democracy that Wike himself complained about, during the presidential primaries. Could that be the reason why it seems at the national level the PDP cannot get its acts together?
I think Chief Wike himself is part and parcel of the problem. Long before now, I had wanted to change the dynamics of the party so that I could pick the ticket, become the presidential candidate. Unfortunately, it didn't work in his favor. Probably they are fighting a cause too, because all the southern governors held a meeting to say and agree that presidency should come to the south. Maybe it was a genuine, but it was badly handled and badly managed. Wike is overbearing in all this, and it has affected the fortunes of the party, not only at the national level and at the states and local government level too. I wish we are playing real politics. What we are doing now, some of us are taking the back seat. We want to withdraw, but we will not be silenced. That's it.
And it's a Count of Monte Cristo-style revenge plot that is being enacted here. Just like you said, the Southern governors had come together. He really, Wike sees himself as someone who has been funding and keeping the PDP afloat for years. And then when nobody had his back at the primaries, he felt revenge. He felt betrayed. Now it seems like he's on a full-on revenge mission to clear out anything and anyone in his path. But every time we get someone from the PDP to discuss this situation, especially elder statesmen, they discuss speaking with the elders or speaking with the people in the party who have stake and yeah, exactly. But who are they? I have no idea who these people are. They have not come out to say a thing. And Wike has been running roughshod for months.
You used a word before now that probably some people are compromised. I don't want to say yes or no, but I suspect some people are doing a deal behind to continue to fuel Wike's ego. Only God knows where we are going with this kind of arrangement. It can be better done if the National Working Committee should sit down, discuss, and agree on the point of action. Similarly, the Board of Trustees, too, is in position to work side by side with the National Working Committee. Unfortunately, we have acting national chairman, acting national secretary, because somebody took the party to court because he failed to become the chairman of the party. So, and all these things, Chief Wike's hands were in all this all along. So you can ease how to destroy PDP, and PDP should see this as an affront and do the needful immediately.
But, I beg your pardon, but I'm wondering, is it just Wike that is out to destroy the party? Because to an outsider looking in, one would say it's a particular individual's ambition, that has led the party to where you are at the moment. And you talked about you taking a back seat and some other people that are not comfortable with what's happening, taking a back seat. But wouldn't taking a back seat actually worsen the situation? Wouldn't it have been right to have spoken up at the time when it seemed one particular individual's ambition was, would cripple the party?
Well, I wish I were in position to influence things, and many others too who feel things should not be done this way. But unfortunately, the governors have taken over the parties, both in APC and PDP, because they are the ones funding the party. And Chief Wike, in his own characteristic manner, is overbearing, he wants to take charge, and he feels he's contributing more than every other person in the party. He should take the lead, and we can't just continue like this because it's no longer a democracy. It's just like some people are fighting for their own selfish interests, not thinking about Nigeria and not thinking about democracy. We don't want to be a failed state. And somebody is already capitalizing on that. Somebody is capitalizing on that. They woo everybody into APC, and it will be a one-party state.
It'll be a disaster for a democracy to not have any type of balance. But in
reality,
in terms of Governor Fubara and the position that he's in now, in your opinion, how best can he assert himself politically and get up from under Governor Wike, especially in light of this 8-point deal? Because the optics are, and I'm just saying what the optics might look like, that Governor Wike has the full backing of President Tinubu to the extent that some concessions were made, but it's now very clear that Fubara is not as close to the central as we would have thought. How can he overcome this situation or even begin to wrestle and assert his authority in Rivers State, knowing very well that the #1 most powerful man in the country is probably a little more sympathetic to his arch rival?
Number one, the brokered agreement cannot stand the test of democracy or the test of time. It's unconstitutional for Mr. President to intervene in a case affecting Rivers State. Rivers State is a state, and the people voted for Fubara. Fubara should assert its authority as an executive governor and ensure that he challenges this aberration in the court of law. That's where, and I think he had taken a step already, going to court, and then his own faction of the speaker has been accepted, and based on that, his proposed budget was presented and was already approved by and signed into law. So I don't know why he should not continue fighting.
If it continues in that line, you know, how well can it govern with a four-man assembly?
Well,
how constitutional is that?
Then let the court, let the judiciary give us the interpretation of the law.
And speaking of that judiciary, there's a huge conversation going on in America right now concerning Donald Trump's running. In the state of Colorado, he's been removed from the ballot. It's being taken to the Supreme Court. Basically, the conversation is it's undemocratic to have the courts judge such a situation. Regardless of what the American Constitution says, they're saying it's, politics needs to be something between the people. They should be the ones deciding. In Nigeria, it seems like it's the courts doing everything. I mean, everything from the presidential to the gubernatorial, everything ends up in our court system. And there have been lots of complaints. We have seen a lot of horrendously terrible missteps and incompetent displays within the court system. We've also seen some really great things from them as well, but unfortunately it's mostly tragedy when it comes to our electoral process. Isn't this a problem? Everything is going to the courts now.
Well, the most important one is that of the defection of 24, 25 members. Let's challenge that one at the courts.
Again, the courts.
Just court should be able to determine whether they did the right thing. And INEC is also a surrogate to the ruling party. INEC should take this one seriously. INEC should be independent. Let them, they have lawyers. Let them interpret the goings on in Rivers State and then see if those who have defected have lost their seats. I believe they have lost their seats, and that's the belief of so many legal luminaries. So that's where we should start from and continue from there. Fubara, to the best of my knowledge, the step he took demolishing the State House of Assembly may not be the best action, but probably he felt he should fight back. So controversy is everywhere.
Well, you seem to have so much faith in the judiciary, but I'm wondering what role your party, the PDP, should be playing. At least to the best of my knowledge, Governor Wike-Fubara is a member of your party.
Well, I'm not telling you I have faith in the judiciary. I even have... I detest the present judiciary in the country. They are not the best. But what do? Instead of going to war or going to free fighting and then embarrassing ourselves, embarrassing the nation, embarrassing those people who are not supposed to be embarrassed. Wike and Fubara can afford to embarrass themselves, but they shouldn't embarrass us as a nation. They shouldn't embarrass us as a party, either PDP or APC. But the judiciary you're talking about, I don't have confidence in the judiciary. But that's the only way to go, whether rightly or wrongly. So let's put it to test. We are challenging, everybody is challenging the judiciary of today. So let's see whether they will have a change of heart and do the proper thing anytime there is a case
So
before
is there
them.
any role that the PDP should play or can play in this dispute?
The National Working Committee has made a lot of proposals defending the position of Fubara and then defending the Constitution and then wanting to defend the position that those people who defected have lost their seat. Once those ones have lost their seat, Fubara is good to go.
And another big name that has been missing from this conversation is, of course, the presidential flag bearer of the party, Atiku Abubakar. But that's actually not my question.
I will answer it.
Okay, go ahead.
You wouldn't expect somebody in that position. He had tried a lot to use the judiciary to establish what he believed in, and they failed him. Now to stick out his neck again and start fighting a local fight. Even if it were in his state, I'm sure he would not. Well, but he must have been advised. You know, in this business, you need a lot of advice and you need a lot of wisdom. If he comes out to say anything, what does he have to say?
He just looks like someone who cares about his party. That's all. It's just the optics of, he doesn't even have to defend. He can just be like, hi guys, please let's calm down. This is the PDP. We need to get our house together, and this is what we're doing.
Everybody knows the state of mind of the present president. They know each other very well. They know what he can do. So everybody has to be careful. Some people have lost their souls. We cannot help it. It's just unfortunate. But the little that remains in Nigeria to be saved, we should all embrace it. I don't see what Alhaji Atiku Abubakar can do at this stage. If he intervenes, it will look like the same way the president is interfering with the Constitution, because the president actually interfered with the Constitution by calling people into his office and then carrying peace boat in Rivers State, and it's not his own constitutional role. So Atiku should not join him in doing that.
Now, following the Supreme Court ruling, affirming President Bola Tinubu's victory at the presidential polls earlier this year, the PDP promised to act as a viable opposition to the ruling party and also help to protect democracy in Nigeria. How well do you think the PDP, your party, is playing that role, especially when you consider the state of the nation at the moment?
It's very difficult to be too loud in this business. I think the National Working Committee is doing the little they can. So many press conferences have been held. They've projected what is not going well in the national politics. And unfortunately, the judiciary is not helping matters to at least address some of the issues raised. Anything that goes to court, you already know what the outcome is likely to be in favor of the... You can imagine what's going on in Kano now. Somebody won overwhelmingly, and suddenly they are saying some ballot papers were not stamped. It's unacceptable. Similarly, the case in another state where PDP in Plateau State, you can imagine the situation that the governorship candidate won overwhelmingly. The party sponsored him. He did primaries. Everything went well. He won. INEC declared. But INEC will now go back to court to defend what is wrong. These are the albatross that is making some people not to continue to push for a lot of things. And unfortunately, too, some of the state factions are not strong enough. I expect the Lagos State chapter of the PDP to be appearing, discussing. It was when I was in the office that I was taking all these challenges. But now I can't hear anything from so many people that are in position to. Some are already even fighting for positions.
Well, with the Nigerian politics, sometimes you just wonder, where are all the grown-ups? Why is there such bad behavior and no one seems to be doing anything about it? But it was great to have you come into the studio today and to have this conversation with you, Captain. Thank you so much for joining us on
Thank you
Newsday.
very much.